Today, we're going to talk about a concept that is completely rewriting the rules of industry. But here's the thing. I want you to forget what you think you know about manufacturing. We're going to look at smart factories as a blueprint for the future of pretty much any data-driven business. All right, let's jump right in.
And just to give you a sense of scale, this is happening in a massive way. We're not talking about some niche little trend. The smart manufacturing market is projected to explode to nearly $1 trillion by 2032. That's not just growth. That is a fundamental tectonic shift in how value gets created.
So yeah, we're calling this the trillion-dollar revolution. And why? Because its core ideas, things like real-time data, predictive insights, and intelligent automation, are creating this whole new way of operating that's spilling far beyond the factory floor. We're seeing it in logistics, healthcare, you name it, even finance.
To really get what's going on here, I want you to stop thinking of a smart factory as just a building. Instead, think of it like a living organism. Let's actually break down its nervous system to see how it thinks, how it acts, and how it learns.
Okay, so it all starts with the senses, and in this world, that's the Industrial Internet of Things, or IIoT. Just imagine billions, literally billions of tiny sensors embedded in every single machine, every product, every asset, and they're all constantly collecting data. This gives the entire operation this total real-time awareness of everything, all at once.
So now you've got this absolute flood of data. What do you do with it? Well, you need a brain, and that's exactly where AI and the cloud come in. They take this torrent of information and they process it, spotting patterns that are totally invisible to the human eye, predicting what's going to happen next, and optimizing the entire workflow on the fly.
And finally, of course, you need hands to actually act on all those intelligent decisions. This is where advanced robotics enters the picture. You've got systems like collaborative robots. People call them cobots, and they execute the AI's instructions with a speed and a precision that is, let's be honest, superhuman.
So here's the really crucial point. When you combine these senses, this brain, and these hands, you start to realize the smart factory isn't just stuck inside four walls. No way. It becomes this decentralized ecosystem that can connect a supplier's inventory in one country with a logistics fleet in another, all the way to the customer's doorstep.
But what's really driving this massive investment? Why are all these companies racing to adopt this model right now? Well, it all boils down to a really powerful, data-driven business case. You've got two major forces really pushing this change. First, what people call the Amazon effect. It's totally rewired our expectations as customers. We want everything fast, and we want it personalized. And second, years of just crazy supply chain volatility have made resilience an absolute must-have for survival. The mandate is pretty clear. Get smarter and faster, or you are going to get left behind.
And the results of getting smarter? They're staggering. Let's look at a few numbers. First up, by using AI to predict when a machine might fail before it actually breaks, companies are slashing unplanned downtime by over 28%. I mean, that alone is a massive, massive boost to productivity. And that shift from a reactive break-fix model to a proactive predict and prevent one, it doesn't just save time. It saves serious cash. We're seeing maintenance costs get cut by up to 40%.
And maybe the most dramatic impact of all is on quality. When you have AI-powered vision systems that are monitoring production in real time, they can slash defect rates by, get this, an astonishing 90%. That is pretty much as close to perfect quality control as you can get.
So when you put all of this together, you see it's not about just one single metric. The return on this investment is comprehensive. From these massive quality improvements in asset uptime to double-digit gains in productivity and cost reduction across the board. The business case is, well, it's undeniable.
Okay, so these numbers are impressive, for sure. But what does this technology actually look like when it's out there in the real world? Let's take a look at how some industry leaders are already unlocking some pretty incredible value.
So take General Electric, right? They operate in the super high-stakes world of aerospace. They embed thousands of sensors directly into their jet engines. Then, AI analyzes all that data to predict component failures. This lets airlines perform maintenance proactively. And this doesn't just save millions of dollars, it makes flying dramatically safer.
And BMW's approach, this is just a brilliant example of the power of simulation. They use what are called digital twins, which are perfect virtual replicas of their factories, to design and optimize the entire production process in a totally risk-free environment. They can test layouts, program robots, even train their staff before a single brick of the physical factory is ever laid. It's amazing.
And for a peek at what peak performance looks like, you have to look at the Siemens factory in Amberg, Germany. It's a global benchmark. By tightly integrating a really dense network of sensors with their AI, they have achieved a mind-blowing 99.98% product quality rate. That is as close to perfect as you can possibly get.
Okay, so if the benefits are so clear, so obvious, why isn't every single company doing this? Well, the reality is that making this kind of transformation is really, really hard. A lot of companies get stuck, and it's super important to understand why.
You can sum up the core problem with this one powerful idea. It's called digital transformation debt. Think of it like the technological mess created by years of underinvestment. It results in this complex, fragmented tangle of old systems and new systems that just don't talk to each other.
And this debt, it shows up in 4 key ways. You've got old legacy systems that act like an anchor, just holding you back. There's a big software gap between the rigid old platforms and the flexible systems you need today. Connecting everything creates massive new cybersecurity threats. And finally, there's a huge chasm between having a strategy and having the skills to actually pull it off.
So how do we move forward from here? This is where we make a little pivot. Because the real magic happens when you realize that these principles, visibility, prediction, automation, they can be applied far beyond just manufacturing to create a smart enterprise in pretty much any industry.
And this table right here, this is the key. Just look at how beautifully these concepts translate from one field to another. Predictive analytics in a factory, that's predicting machine failure, right? But in logistics, it's forecasting demand to prevent stockouts. In healthcare, it could be predicting a patient's health decline. See, it's the exact same principle, just a totally different application.
So where on earth do you start? Well, the roadmap is simple, but it's really powerful. It's all built on this one idea. Think big, start small, and scale fast. Here's how it works. Step 1, start with a business problem, not a technology wish list. Step 2, launch a really focused pilot project to prove the value, and prove it quickly. And step 3, and this one is crucial, find an expert partner. This is not a do-it-yourself project.
You know, at the end of the day, the companies that are going to thrive in the next decade will be the ones that operate as intelligent, adaptive ecosystems. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about for your own organization. What's the one critical business problem that you could solve if you had true predictive insight?